Hello, it is I, Sir Devon of Kang Productions, and welcome back to another video. So, today is sort of a reflection on 2022 as a whole, and it is going to act as what to look forward to in 2023. So, at the start of 2022 is my wrestling. So the first one, I've done two promotions. Well, the first two weren't as successful as I'd like to have been. The first one didn't really take off. It was too, I don't know, there was something wrong with it. I wasn't happy with the way things were done. Even though the Gold Rush pay-per-view was brilliant. Night 2 was the best, because it was an all-women's night. And my commentary was on fire. I was literally screaming the entire match like I'm Jim Ross or something. SNR, of course, wasn't as successful as I wanted it to be. But then came NXT. Now, that lasted a bit longer. And I actually preferred booking NXT, because it was more of a storyline. I think what attracted me to NXT was the fact that it was different to the main roster, and that everyone has a role in it. That's what attracted me to it, and I wanted to provide an alternative to 2.0. So I decided, screw it. I then got bored of NXT, so I went on to Ring of Honor instead. Now, Ring of Honor was completely different altogether. I like that they include a set of rules where it's been made to be different than WWE. I think Triple H has fixed WWE this year. In fact, I think this year has been better for WWE than AEW. Because, you know, you've had the return of Cody Rhodes. With Kingdom, they even let him use his American Nightmare character. We had the CM Punk backstage fight with the Elite, which got me off the Elite a bit, but I still like Kenny Omega. Just a little less now. Still a massive fan of CM Punk. It's been a crazy year for wrestling. We had, even though I don't like Logan Paul, you know, you saw him wrestling Roman Reigns. You had all the old NXT Black and Gold guys coming up to the main roster. Io Sky, Dakota Kai, Bayley. You had Nikki Cross reverting back to her sanity gimmick. It's been a great year for WWE. And of course we had my new room done. Of course we had to have that done because the roof was leaking. But that's all fixed now. And I'm more than happy with it. Also, some new additions to my custom figure collection. I haven't got round to reviewing them yet, because I'm going to use them in something upcoming next year. I hope to finish writing and then do all the filming. On the subject of stop motion animation, I've showed more stop motions this year. So we had Welcome to Dystopia, which was a Riverdale spin-off. I had to end it because it just got too boring to write and it wasn't really going anywhere. I want to make something that's traditional and not it's about identity politics. I didn't want to go down that road. I want to go down the road of there's this main character. It's about this person. No one shoves them away. And I think that's what modern media is missing. You know, it's missing masculinity. And I've just about lost all faith in TV. Of course, there is Stranger Things, which I spent the entire summer watching because I watched season 4 first, then went to season 1, to 3, and then I became a fan. So there's that, and I also did a video on similarities between Mass Effect and Stranger Things. Speaking of Mass Effect, I've done 2 Mass Effect series, one which I had to end abruptly, which was Mass Effect The Clone Wars. So what if the clone troopers from Star Wars The Clone Wars were in Mass Effect? I realised that I couldn't act and I had to do several takes, and it was a pretty good story, but it was a bit rushed. You know, but I really enjoyed writing it because originally it started out as a diary perspective similar to the Battlefront 2 cinematics, but then it turned into a perspective. Then it turned into an audio drama, which I then used Audacity to edit my voice to sound like a clone trooper. Yeah, when we got to Mass Effect 2, I think that was the longest thing I had to write, because one idea that I had from the beginning was Cerberus definitely would have something to do with the microchips. And then, of course, what would happen if the clones were involved in the Reaper invasion and the Battle of the Citadel? That was an awesome series to write. And of course we have the Mass Effect Legendary Edition playthrough. Now, production has been a bit slow, and of course there was a few technical issues when it came to the finished videos, when I realised that I'd uploaded 2 episodes that said 25 and everything was out of order, so I had to go through and re-edit it all again. So that was a bit annoying to do at first, but I sorted it out and everything's as it should be. And of course, Commander Shepard goes on a journey similar to I have this year. I've been on a journey this year because I've changed my political point of view. I used to be a whiny leftist who talked a lot about representation and who was I was a bit ungrateful. And in fact, I was very ungrateful before I changed my perspective, before I discovered Jarvik from Mass Effect. Of course, Jarvik taught me masculinity. He taught me about honour and the quote, "Stand in the ashes of a trillion dead souls, ask the ghosts if honour matters," really hit me hard. So I decided to change when I heard that. It's the same with, and I'm really open about this, I changed when I got this comment on my channel that just said cringe, and I thought, yeah, I've got to change, because watching it back, I was a cringy leftist. So thanks to the good folks at the Daily Wire, you know, since discovering the Daily Wire, I have changed quite a lot for the better and not be this whiny leftist, and discover that there are different points of view in the world and that we have to accept them. You know, Ben Shapiro was saying exactly that, or something along those lines. So big fan of the Daily Wire, I think, and it's also taught me to, this is what happens when you become too selfish, you know, like the people on TikTok. You know, you see them who whine at you just for getting something wrong, or just for saying you need to lose weight. I didn't want to be that person. You know, I want to be a grateful guy, and I am proud to say I'm a Daily Wire listener. Also, as you may have noticed, I have had to delete some of my content, but that's because, frankly, it sounded cringeworthy, and that was when I was in my leftist phase, when I was whining about representation. And I don't want you to take me as this ungrateful, spoiled brat. I want you to be entertained, and I want you to be happy by the content that I produce. Now, Another show that has kind of gone is The Next Step. Now, I'm not a Next Step fan anymore because personally I think it's gone down the woke route where they overpush Rochelle like Vince McMahon overpushed John Cena. You know, some of these guys who've left, not that I've watched season 8, in fact I've stopped watching The Next Step altogether. I'm cutting it out of my life. The closest thing you're going to see to The Next Step on this channel now is Ring of Honor and any of my wrestling shows, because some of the wrestlers on that are based on Next Step characters, and I know that's pretty embarrassing to know. But, you know, I'm not ashamed to be a wrestling fan. I'm not ashamed to be leaving the Next Step fandom. I will still remember it every now and then. I will pay homage every now and then. And in fact, next year is its 10th anniversary. Next year, we got a ton of anniversaries coming up. The biggest being Doctor Who. Come on, 60 years old. And they're bringing back David Tennant. I don't think I would have chosen him for 14. I think I would have gone down the route where Shooter Gatwell was the 14th Doctor. And I'd have gone with there was a scene in a comic where the Doctor de-aged back to his 9th incarnation. I would have done that personally. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to David Tennant returning as the Doctor. And from the trailer, it looks like they've upgraded the special effects better than the ones that Satan Chibnall had. You know, the BBC's really gone downhill, I think. We've got The Next Step anniversary, which I hope they do something big for the 10-year anniversary. You know, Doctor Who had the 3 Doctors. Maybe we could have Next Step characters who weren't as appreciated and bring them back for something. I really would want to see that, and I would actually watch it if they had Frank Van Keeken to write the show, because he knew what the industry was all about. You know, I know nothing about dance. I'm a wrestling guy, I'm a wrestling fan, I'm a big Whovian, I'm a big sci-fi nerd. You know, I love everything science fiction, and I'm doing it for the fans. Speaking of next year, am I going to do anything? Certainly yes. In fact, I'm going to do something for the Doctor Who 60th, but that's still in the early stages if I get it done. And I've also been talking a bit about a stop motion Star Wars project that I'm going to be doing. I want to get the Doctor Who thing out of the way first before I get onto that, but I will say this. I don't think it's going to be done this year or next year. It'll be done when it's done. I want to release it all as a complete series, like it's a Saturday night show or something. I want it to be like a real TV show. And I'm really going to think when I write it, because I want to do this for the fans. You know, we're all tired of Disney. We're tired of Disney Star Wars. I'm going to do this for the fans, so I've really got to think about it. As is the Doctor Who thing, you know. I'm going to make this Doctor different to all the others. And I don't mean that in a leftist way. I mean this as in a Doctor that is different to any of the modern Doctors. I'm taking us back to traditional Doctor Who. I'm going to take us back to traditional Star Wars, traditional Ring of Honor. I'm going to do this for the fans, because I know that the fans are really let down. You know, I'm going to do this for all the hardcore fans who have been let down these past few years because of the media prioritising identity politics ahead of a good storyline. And we're all tired of it, so I'm going to do this for them. Next year, what I hope to accomplish is, I don't know, doing what I do best and doing what I love, and that's Ring of Honor. You know, I love pro wrestling. I love announcing these shows, and I look forward to doing what I do best and not cancelling it. So I'd like, and as for people who've watched my videos, wow, some videos I weren't expecting to get a comment on. By far, I was not expecting my Ben 10 stop motion video to get 1 million views, to be my most viewed video of all time. And I did not expect to get up to 156 subscribers by the end of the year. So thank you for those who've seen my stuff. I look forward to next year. Hopefully it'll be much better than this year. So I would like to thank you all very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next year. So goodbye and good